So, this is part two of my thoughts on the films that I got from Barnes& Noble during the Criterion sale over the summer and this ongoing one in November, even though I only got one title. Yeah, so this is part two. I'm going to try to talk about three of the films. I'm just going to continue in spine number order. So, next I have Akira Kurosawa's Rashomon from 1950. This is spine number 138. Rashomon. This is something that I think I need to watch again and again and again, but especially after seeing other Kurosawa films, because this is the first and only film of his that I've seen so far. It's a film that I think would really benefit from repeated viewings and seeing more from his filmography. I'm not quite sure how to talk about this because I liked it, but I don't see the full effect of it, I guess. This is a title that I hear just like mentioned a lot, but I haven't really heard a lot about it. I haven't heard much discussion about it, although that could be just me avoiding knowing too much about it beforehand, before I had actually watched it, because that's how I prefer to see things. I did, though, watch a couple of videos just to sort of refresh my memory on it, because I do remember liking it and thinking that the characters were interesting, and I was like trying to figure out like who was telling the truth, if any of the characters were telling the truth, and what would they gain from lying. But you just, especially because it's not like you really have any sort of concrete truth, you can't really figure out their motives and who's telling the truth and what characters, like, which description is most accurate. At least in terms of the characters, not even necessarily of what happened overall. I don't know if that made sense. And that's sort of one of the reasons why I think it would be helpful to watch this again, because I'm curious to know if there is a truth that you can figure out. If it kind of seems like a game of Clue or Mafia, but this seems a little bit more complex than that, so I don't know if there is a truth that you can figure out, and if someone has tried to figure out what is the truth. I almost have a hard time accepting it in this way, though, because it's not like there's an otherworldly effect of it. How do I explain this? Like, I think it would be different if it was different dreams that people had, or if there was maybe like a Lynchian factor somewhere in the midst that made it easier to accept and digest in this way. One of the videos, though, that I watched that I was trying to remember, like, more specific things that happen in, not only in the story, but also just with the way that the shot was. I do remember, like, oh my god, is it this one? Now I'm second guessing myself. I think it's this film that had a lot of shots like through the trees and through the leaves that I really liked. There were certain nature shots that I liked and certain camera movement which I noticed, and then it was reiterated in this video that I watched that I'm forgetting the channel name. Something about paintings. Every film a painting? Something like that. I'll link it in the description, but it was a video essay on Akira Kurosawa and how he uses movement in his films. And so it had a lot of clips from other Kurosawa films, and I just seemed more interested in like these other films that the clips were from. Not only do I think watching his other films will help me to understand the way that he makes films, but it would help me to see the significance of this film, particularly Rashomon, because as I mentioned before, it's a film that a lot of people tend to mention, especially as one that is significant to Kurosawa. And I think this is one that I didn't, although I watched all the supplements, I did not, if there's a commentary, I didn't watch the commentary. or like watch the film along with listening to the, oh yeah, there is one. By a Japanese film historian, Donald Ritchie, which would be very beneficial, I think. Yeah, so I want to dive into other Kurosawa before revisiting this, and I think that would help me to just see, not that I don't want it to seem like I don't think it's a great film. I just was expecting a little bit more, and also I think to see it in a greater context of Kurosawa films would just be like helpful and something that I would like to do, obviously. And I could understand the characters better, maybe, even if it's 4 different versions of the characters because of the way the story is told. I felt like it was like really in your face though as well, because you get really close to the characters. Like they keep moving towards the camera. And I was like, why am I so close? And then like the lady, I kept noticing that the lady had like weird eyebrows, or like they were just like right here, and then there was nothing else here. I kept on noticing the eyebrows. So here I am mentioning eyebrows. So I think that's all I'm going to say for Rashomon, and I don't know how well any of that was said. The next film I have the most to say about, though, probably, maybe, and I've kind of already talked about it, so I might be reiterating myself, or just repeating myself. And then the last one that I have, I literally don't even know what to say. So here we go. The next film I'm going to talk about is Le Samouraï, directed by Jean-Pierre Melville from 1967. I mentioned this in my August favorites video, I think, because I think that's when I watched it. This is the first film that I watched from all of these that I bought, and it immediately became a new favorite. And then soon afterwards, I rewatched Ludulo, which is, or Ludulos, I never know if that S is supposed to be pronounced or not, which is another Melville film, and I think Le Samouraï is my favorite now. I don't know. I still want to rewatch L'Amour en Prête, so that's on my list of endless things to watch, even though that's a rewatch. This is a film that, as soon as I started watching it, I really took notice as to how it was made, as well as how that supported telling the story and getting to know the characters, mostly the main character, Jeff Costello, who is a contract killer, an assassin? Is that too extreme? A hitman, there we go, that's what I meant to say, a hitman. So some of the things that I noticed was that, like, 10 minutes into the film, no lines were said, and I was like, it's been 10 minutes, and no one has said anything. And I don't know, I can't remember now exactly what it was that made me notice nothing had been said, but it could have been because you're just watching him, like, get ready to go kill somebody. And then the score as well. I think the beginning is pretty much silent until things start, like, picking up, I guess. Like, I don't know how to explain that, because it's overall a very engaging film. I think it's pretty suspenseful, especially with the certain camera movements, but also things tend to go in and out of focus, and actually it made me a little bit more suspicious of things that were going on that maybe as an audience we weren't aware of, but they were like, there were certain hints to things, but that was just me exaggerating and thinking that something crazy was going to happen. But overall, I think it's pretty subtle in the way of doing suspense and, well, creating suspense. There's also a scene that actually might be a little bit comedic, because I don't know, I could just see it in a sort of comedy scene. The scene, how many times did I just say scene? At the police station. There are so many doors and so many rooms, and it's like, why is this necessary? But I think it kind of shows this systematic way the police do things, and the way that they're investigating what's happening, or like the murder, and then it's just so different from the natural way, but it's natural, but he still has a very... No, I guess it's his own sort of system, isn't it? Because he's very careful about things and minimal, which is also shown in the direction. Melville, I think, is a pretty minimalist director. And routine, that's the word I was looking for. He sticks to his routine so that nothing is out of place, so that he has less of a chance of getting caught. So I guess although the police and Jeff do things somewhat similarly, the doors and especially the number of people in the police station, in my head contrasts so much with Jeff, just because he's alone. He's a solitary character, and solitude is something that is very present in the film with him. And I mean, he's the only character we're really following, and so much of it, the camera really is just moving with him, and we're watching him. And something else that I liked about, more so the editing of it, I don't know how much was planned and like done by Melville, or controlled by Melville, is the scene where he's killing the person who he's supposed to be killing. He's executing the hit, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to like think of the most correct lingo here, and it's just not coming to me. But it shows his glove. Wait. Okay, I can't remember exactly what happened there. I do remember the editing stood out in that scene, but now I'm actually thinking of the end, where it shows... Okay, here's the thing. I wrote like notes on this when I watched it, and now I'm getting confused. So I wrote about, just very briefly in my notes, I wrote that there's interesting cut editing. The first kill, the gloves, and the gun. Him being shot at the end. Like, what am I supposed to do with that, Bailey? Oh, okay. But there's the scene at the end, spoiler alert, you see a gun, and you know that someone is probably going to be shot and killed. You don't know who it is, and he's on another mission. He's on another job to carry out, another hit, and a gun goes off and you don't know. It kind of cuts to something else. It cuts to him. He's the one who's been shot. I said I was going to say spoiler, and then I played it all vague, even though I said spoiler alert. Oh my god. Anyway, I will link the favorites video that I mention this in case things are more cohesive in that video. I really liked this, though. Yeah, definitely not overhyped either. I was really looking forward to this when it was announced as a Blu-ray upgrade, because it was a title that I had been holding out on not getting, because I knew as soon as I got it, it'd be like, hey, we're releasing that on Blu-ray, and I'd be like, are you kidding me? I just bought that on DVD. So here we are. Yes. Okay. All these are Blu-ray, by the way. I don't know if I've even mentioned that at all. Also, Le Samouraï is by number 306. That's something else I don't think I mentioned. And I really liked all the supplements on this, although right now nothing is standing out in particular, except I think the booklet said something about schizophrenia. And I was like, what is this person talking about schizophrenia? Because I didn't get that at all. Although I may be misremembering the, I guess, diagnosis of the character, but I it didn't make sense to me. As a psychology major, it didn't make sense to me. And lastly, in this video, part 2, I will have a third part with 2 more films to talk about. But right now, lastly, I have Spine number 571, Black Moon, directed by Louis Malle. I'm so unsure about this film, and I don't even... Where do I start? I guess I should start... I don't know. All I knew going into this is this first sentence that it says on the back. Louis Malle meets Lewis Carroll in this bizarre and bewitching trip down the rabbit hole. And like, that's all I needed to know, because I thought of it as a sort of Alice in Wonderland retelling, or using that story as inspiration, which I can see, but it went places. I thought, I guess I wanted it to be either more mundane or more weird. Because it was weird, but also in this very, like, naturalistic setting, and it just sort of was like this, like, post-apocalyptic world, where, like, it was a war between genders, sexes. There is a difference between those words there, but I don't know in terms of this film what it would be, which is the more accurate word to use. And then, like, everyone was named Alice, right? Like, the brother and the sister. They were, like, brother and sister, both named Alice, I'm pretty sure. But Lily is, like, the main character. And... she finds this house. I'm literally just going to tell you what it's about, because I just don't know. Like, I'm so confused. Clearly, I don't have words right now. But... she finds this house, and she's following the brother, Alice, and then she ventures into their house. Oh yeah, there was also that scene in the house. She's in the kitchen, and there's a glass of milk on the table, and she's reaching for the milk when it, like, just go around the table. What? She's reaching like this. Like, it's kind of weird because of the way my camera's set up and stuff like that, but, like, she's reaching like this, and the table's, like, hitting her stomach, and I'm like, just go around the corner. Why are you reaching for a glass of milk on a table that's, like, really short, and you can easily walk around? That was weird. And then there was, like, a pig on the counter, but it was, like, alive. And, yeah. And then she just, like, goes upstairs, and I'm like, she's in somebody else's house. And then there were, like, kids running around naked, and that was the thing. And then there was this lady, the old lady, in the bed. What's with her? I don't know. What's with her? The most memorable scene of this entire film is Lily. Lily at the end breastfeeding the old woman in the bed. What? Why is she doing that? What's with this old lady? She wouldn't even have breast milk. She would, like, have to be pregnant. Like, Lily, what are you doing? And then, or wait, maybe I'm just thinking, no, I think everyone's name is Lily. Is everyone's name Lily? I don't know anymore. I'm gonna call the brother and sister Alice. I was just assuming that, like, I was just thinking that Alice was somebody's name because of Alice in Wonderland. I think everyone's name is Lily, now that I think of it. And, yeah, so, like, the sister Lily, earlier in the film, like, breastfed the mom, their mom? Which is the old lady. I don't know. Like, I finished watching the film, I logged it on Letterboxd, and then all I wrote was, I'm so unsure of this film, because I am. And I couldn't even, like, watch the supplements afterwards. I tried, there's really not that much. There's just a video with Louis Malle, an interview, and then that's pretty much it, except for the booklet, and then it says a gallery and alternate soundtrack. Anyway, because it's actually in English? It's in English. It's in English. But it's also in French. It's dubbed in French, and that's the alternate soundtrack. Yeah, I remember that now. I tried watching the supplement, the video interview, and I just was so out of it that I couldn't focus on what he was trying to explain. I just don't know. Why? Why was she? Also, she didn't get along with this old lady the whole film, and then now you're breastfeeding her? Is that what you do? I just can't. I really like this cover, though, by the way. This is really good artwork. It doesn't represent the film well to me, but it's cool. And then there's this unicorn that's clearly just this little miniature pony with a horn stuck on its head. And the wait, the unicorn was talking to her, and I actually liked what the unicorn was saying, because she was totally calling out Lily on the way that she's been acting the whole movie, which is just, yeah, that was accurate. She was being annoying and just throwing fits, and yeah, also, and just some illogical things that I don't think I could get past because it wasn't in a whimsical enough world. It just looked too real. And I just so don't know what I think about this film. It's just so weird. And not even the kind of weird that I'm really into. What do you think about this film? That's what I want to know. Have you seen this? Did you see Lily breastfeed the old woman at the end of the film? Why would she do that? She wouldn't even have breast milk. Is there anything else I can say about this? If that got you interested in watching this film, that'd be so funny. What is she talking about? A weird breastfeeding scene? That literally is the only scene that I can think about now. A scene that I liked was some of the kids were opera singers. They were just singing really well, and they had makeup on, and they were in costumes, and it was, I don't know, I do remember that part now. I mostly was wow, they have really good makeup on, and they sing really well, and I don't remember exactly what they were singing, but I was wow, these kids can sing. So that's just an extra thing about it. Something that I liked compared to what's happening. What is this? What's going on? Why is she doing that? And the opening scene is Lily in this car, I don't know, escaping someplace or something. And I don't feel it's that necessary. I mean, I guess that's supposed to represent her going down the rabbit hole, but it was just a weird way to do it. And it was just a lot different compared to most of the movie. Yeah, I just think that maybe that could have been done differently. Why am I critiquing it like that? I don't know. I don't know what to think of that film. I'm fine with Mulholland Drive, but this Black Moon, I just don't know. Okay, this was all over the place. I feel I say that a lot because I guess that's just a trait of me, a characteristic of me. All over the place. Okay. So, yeah, let me know what you think of these films. Please don't bash me in the comments for being so inarticulate right now. Have you seen these films? What do you think of them? I'm going to record part 3 probably tomorrow. It's really late right now. So look forward to that. I have 2 titles left to talk about. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.